deal, but Roman Reigns is going to get such nuclear heat because they really wanted Brock Lesnar to end this deal. And Roman Reigns just looks down, and he just looks up, and he grabs Brock. He's looking to send him through the announcer's table, but he's stopped by music. And who comes out? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins makes his return. He is fully recovered. His knee is doing so much better. And him and Roman have a huge stare-off at the end of the show with the championship, with Roman holding the championship up. Seth just looks at him. He shakes his head. He smiles. And he just looks determined. He's ready to fight. The weeks following up, they decide to actually make the matchup Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at Night of Champions. And Roman says, you could have gone so far, but you know what you had to do? You just had to just be that guy who would just perform for these people. Perform for these people, entertain these people, and blah, 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 blah. He even had it with the Authority, which obviously a lot of people are still going to hate hearing. And Seth Rollins is just like, you know what, you're right. The thing is that I had everything, and I was going to probably be the longest reigning champion of all time. The problem was, though, I still had an empty feeling inside. And this is where he starts really getting to be a babyface, where he talks about, you know what? I didn't have respect for these fans, and that caused me to lose respect for myself. I apologize to these fans. I am going to do my best to prove to these people that I am indeed the best wrestler in the world today, not a shot at CM Punk. And he says that the best way I can do that is to regain the title that I never lost, and by kicking your ass. And indeed, they have a great matchup, and Seth Rollins comes so close. He even does a Phoenix Splash from the top rope. Roman Reigns flips out of the ring. He's thinking, you know what? This is not the way I'd hope it was going to turn out. He grabs the belt. He's about ready to hit Seth Rollins with it. When next thing you know, boom, here comes a guy out of the crowd in a hoodie, everything like that, just beating down on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, unfortunately, wins by disqualification. The hooded guy, Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is just looking just completely pissed off. He wants revenge. He wants to destroy Roman Reigns for what he did. Seth Rollins, of course, not too happy about it. And they look at each other, but then they also look right up at Roman, who is just climbing up the ramp, a little bit nervous because he realizes that he's got two guys that are gunning for him. And he really is not going to have any of it. He goes to Shane McMahon the following night, and he says, you know what? I did say I would take on all comers, but those two guys don't deserve it. They had their shots, and they lost. They don't deserve it all. And you know what? I'm going to just say right now, there's nobody in this business that deserves this title more than me. And Shane's just like, you really think that? Yeah, you're damn right I do. And Shane's like, okay, well then you're going to prove it. At Hell in the Cell, you will defend your title inside the Hell in the Cell. And you're going to defend it against Seth Rollins. And Dean Ambrose. And Cesaro. And Randy Orton. And the final man that comes out is the fully recovered John Cena. Now, I know a lot of times I don't like to mention John Cena in these fantasy booking deals, but Cena is one of the best people to make this matchup so much better. You get an Armageddon Hell in a Cell matchup that has not happened since 2000. It has been almost 16 years since it's actually happened. And before you say anything, I know that they actually had a multi-man Hell in a Cell matchup a few years ago on Raw. I'm not counting that one because very few people got to see it. So it was a dark match. Doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen, but it's not exactly that it did happen. Does that make sense? No? Oh well. So they have the Armageddon Hell in the Cell matchup, and this is exactly what you expect it to be. You get to see so many different match possibilities. You even get to see rematches. You get to see Cena against Cesaro. You get to see Cesaro and Rollins. You get to see Dean and Seth. You get to see Orton and Roman Reigns. And you even get a preview of Reigns versus Cena, which is going to happen very soon, by the way. So Roman Reigns comes out victorious again. And he walks out and he says, you know something? I have indeed proven myself worthy. I think that I should just hold this championship and defend it whenever I want. And then out comes John Cena. Cena comes out, and he said, and this is not, happy-go-lucky Cena with the happy, jolly face and smiling. He's like, hey, Fruity Pebbles, do. No, this is completely serious John Cena, where he says, you know what? I've been in your shoes. I have been in the situation where half people love me, and half the people, they wish death upon me. But you know something? I always did what was right. I didn't turn my back on these fans because I knew it was best for me. And I will never turn my back on these fans because they deserve to have somebody there that they can always rely on that's always going to do the right thing. I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh, great, he's not showing that he's going to turn heel. This is more of a John Cena that people actually fell in love with, where he's just, standing for hustle, loyalty, and respect. And he's just showing his true colors, where he just says, I am determined, I am dedicated to this job, and you know something? I want to beat you. And I want to be that guy that indeed shuts you up once and for all. And Roman just chuckles and he says, why would I give you a title shot? A, you lost to me last night. And B, nobody wants to see you as the 16-time world champion. That honor honestly just should go to Flair. And people are actually thinking, oh, that's right, he is the 15-time world champion. And now you're getting a kind of a mixed reaction here because some people might be thinking, oh, they want to side for Roman. They might want to side for Cena. And Roman just says, you know what? I'll give you a shot at Survivor Series on 2 conditions. 1, you do it under my rules. And 2, you do it my way. Cena just says, deal. And Roman Reigns lays it out for him. He says, you know something? It'll be no disqualifications, no countouts, no nothing. And there'll be no interference. Nobody's going to get involved at all. But if I win, you will never challenge for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ever again. And if I lose, then I'll leave the company. So you have a big match stipulation here. You either have Roman Reigns leaving for good and have John Cena as a 16-time world champion, or you have Roman Reigns still as the champion, and you decide, and John Cena will never challenge for the title again. He will always stay at 15. He comes this close to becoming the 16-time world champion. And John Cena said, deal. Matchup happens, and it is a slugfest between the two. And unfortunately, John Cena gets injured before Survivor Series because Roman Reigns decides to take a propane tank, smashes it on John Cena's ribs, and Cena is just so weak. He's weary, and Roman Reigns is thinking, you know what, it's over. There's no way that this is going to happen. And he hits John Cena with just about everything that he's got. But John Cena, of course, being the resilient guy that he is, keeps kicking out. And Roman Reigns is thinking, what do I have to do? John Cena goes for the AA, and unfortunately his ribs give. He can't get up. Next thing you know, boom. 1 spear by Roman Reigns. Cover. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. And again, you have a shocking deal because so many people were thinking, well, John Cena's going to kick out at 2. 1, 2. He's going to kick out 3. What? Did that just did that just happen? And it's revealed that it was not a mistake. It was not at all. John Cena got beat by Roman Reigns 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And unfortunately, it was by underhanded tactics. But again, this is now one of those things where it does make fans a little more interested because they're thinking, well, either Roman Reigns is going to leave or Cena's going to never challenge for the title. And now Cena will never challenge for the title again. It's like, whoa, that just happened. So Roman Reigns leaves Survivor Series the champion. Cena can continue on to work a little bit with the maybe with the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, doing that. During that same night of Survivor Series, they have a finals of the tournament in which we see Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins end in a draw, unfortunately, because both get counted out. The following night, Shane says, you know what, we're going to have a rematch between the two. And the winner's going to face Roman Reigns at TLC. So, matchup happens. Unfortunately, Roman gets involved. And I think people already know where I'm going with this. Shane McMahon says, okay, you know something? I'm not even going to make I'm not even going to hesitate on this. At TLC, you will defend your title, Roman, in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. And it will be against Rollins and Ambrose. Finally, after all this time, we get to see the Shield in a triple threat match for the biggest prize in the business. And this matchup is indeed what it was expected to be, and it is amazing. In the end, we see Roman knock Rollins off the ladder with a spear through a table. Fortunately, it takes him out. Dean Ambrose climbs to the top, unlatches the title. Dean Ambrose is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And the people are just amazed by that, because finally, after so long, Dean Ambrose finally reaches his goal. He finally becomes the champion. The following night, Shane McMahon says, "I was so impressed by how these guys did. They did such an amazing job. You know something? We're going to see him go at it again at the Royal Rumble. Regular triple threat match. Dean Ambrose defends his title against Roman and Rollins. Matchup happens at the Rumble, but this time Seth Rollins finds a way to win his title back by pinning Dean Ambrose after a Phoenix Splash. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins gets his championship back. On that same night, the winner of the Royal Rumble would go on to face the champion at WrestleMania, but I'm not going to reveal that until Fastlane. So, Fastlane, they decide to go one more time with a triple threat matchup, but it's a triple threat elimination matchup in which the winner goes on to face the Royal Rumble winner at WrestleMania. So, matchup happens. Dean Ambrose eliminates Seth Rollins after a Dirty Deeds, and we're guaranteed a new champion, either Roman or Dean. But unfortunately, Roman Reigns comes out victorious, wins the title again. And after that, Roman's holding the belt above, and next thing you hear is, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking." The Rock won the Royal Rumble, and it will be The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Florida. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, does that mean The Rock's going to win? Bear with me. So The Rock and Roman Reigns have a great back and forth deal where The Rock talks about, how the people affected him and how the people are the reason why they're here. And Roman just says, you know something? I've done so much better without these people. I don't need them. I don't need their support. I don't need their love. They don't respect me, so why the hell should I respect them? It's still just a great deal going on between The Rock and Roman Reigns. We get into the WrestleMania scene. Rock and Roman put on one hell of a classic, and it goes on as the main event. And I know some people are thinking, well, that's going to suck. Oh, no, it's not. So The Rock and Roman, again, they battle it out in such a huge slugfest. Fortunately, Roman Reigns hits Rock with a spear. 1, 2, 3. Matchup is over. Roman Reigns, pyro's going off. Boo, boo, pew, pew. And Roman is celebrating the matchup that he won. He's thinking, you know what? I've beaten them all, and there's no way that anybody can take this moment from me. And he's just rubbing it in the fans' face. He's just going around, just rubbing it in their faces like, yeah, I won. There's nothing you can do. He's in the ring, celebrating again. And that's when you hear the theme music of the phenomenal AJ Styles. Why would he be coming out? Because last year, he won the Money in the Bank briefcase. So he's going in, he's cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, goes in, cashes in, ding, ding, ding. Roman goes for a spear. Pele by AJ. Roman is stirring. Pele again knocks down Roman. AJ goes to the outside, hits a springboard 450 splash, goes to the top rope, finishes him off, spiral tap, 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Now, the reason why I had this was because it is indeed happening in Florida. And people know Florida as the breeding grounds for TNA. And this is where a lot of the great matches happen. So it would make historical and poetic sense for AJ Styles to go into Florida, Orlando, Florida, among all places, to a place where he was really made as a star. And he really gave these people what they wanted. And he gave these people what they wanted again on this night where he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from the guy that everybody hated the most, Roman Reigns. And you know something? Roman will still be a top major heel.